Okay, how we doing, everybody? Listen, anyone that watches mixed martial arts, when they hear the score, a 10-8 round, they kind of lose their mind. It's very controversial to say sometimes when I'm commentating and I say, oh, that was a 10-8 round. I get some abuse. I get people in my inbox sending me DMs saying, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't a 10-8 round. That was a 10-9, blah, 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 blah. We've had many, many instances. Certainly at the weekend, we saw Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, and two judges gave Dustin Poirier the first round as a 10-8. And again, a lot of people disagreed. Some people agreed. So anyway, I thought I'd just give you some legit information on the scoring system in mixed martial arts, because there seems to be some confusion. Back in the day, a 10-9 round was when two guys were fighting, but one clearly won the round. And to get a 10-8 round, you had to go out there and almost kill the guy. You had to dominate for 5 minutes. You had to take him down. You had to pound him out. You had to cut him open. You needed to almost finish the man for that to be classified as a 10-8 round. Well, the sport's always evolving. It's always changing. It's always getting better and improving. So therefore, the judging criteria is also now. I'm a commentator for the UFC, and the people at the UFC always want us commentators to be as well informed as we possibly can be. So I was given this information provided to the UFC by the Athletic Commission. And here we go. First of all, we're going to talk about a 10-10 round, okay? This is very, very rare, but there is a criteria for a 10-10 round. It says a 10-10 round is a round in MMA when both fighters have competed for whatever duration of time in the round and there is no advantage between either fighter. Now that's very rare, no advantage between either fighter. That would mean two guys standing there and just not doing anything. Maybe one guy lands one leg kick, the other guy lands one leg kick. That's completely even. Perhaps one person takes somebody down for 2.5 minutes, then gets swept and controlled for 2.5 minutes exactly. Now, those scenarios are very, very unlikely, because for it to be so even, come on, that just doesn't really happen. But still, if it was to happen specifically like that, where there is no advantage whatsoever, that would be a 10-10 round. Now, okay, the next one that is the most popular is a 10-9 round. Now, again, there's confusion with what a 10-9 round is. Let me tell you right now. A 10-9 round in MMA is where one combatant wins the round by a close margin. See, a lot of people used to think to win a 10-9 round, you could beat them up pretty good, but it wasn't devastating, so therefore it would be a 10-9 round still. No, that's incorrect. A 10-9 round, and again, provided by the Athletic Commission, a 10-9 round in MMA is the most common score that a judge assesses during the night. If, during the round, the judge sees a fighter land the better strikes or utilize effective grappling during the competition, even by just one technique over their opponent, the judge shall give the winning fighter a score of 10 while assessing the losing fighter with a score of 9 or less. So there you have it. When it's very, very, very close, but one guy just maybe one extra strike, that's a 10-9 round. Classic example, Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. Everybody expected one of the greatest heavyweight fights we may have ever seen, and we may still get that hopefully down the line. But when they fought several years ago, they were both kind of gun shy. They didn't want to make the first move and there wasn't much action. However, Derek Lewis was ever so slightly busier, right? If you looked at the action, you probably thought the round was a draw. But Derek Lewis threw a few of those jumping switch kicks that he likes. There wasn't much action, but at least he threw something. And no doubt he landed one or two. I haven't seen the fight for a while, but whatever. But still, there you go. Classic example. That was a 10-9 round. So here we go. Now we get on to the crux of the matter, the 10-8 round. A 10-8 round is where one fighter wins the round by a large margin. A 10-8 round in MMA is not the most common score that a judge will render, but it is absolutely essential to the evolution of the sport. Judges shall always give a score of 10-8 when the judge has established that one fighter has dominated the action of the round, had duration of the domination, and also impacted their opponent with either effective strikes or effective grappling maneuvers that have diminished the abilities of their opponent. So basically what that's saying is, if one guy goes out there and has a really, really strong round, dominates the majority of the action, controls him for 3.5, maybe 4 minutes, does a lot of damage, but doesn't necessarily almost finish the guy, You know, that is still a 10-8 round. When it is a very dominant round, that is a 10-8. The old perception or the understanding, I think, for a lot of people is that a 10-8 round needs to be a massacre, needs to be a round where someone is almost hospitalized, finished, covered in blood, not knowing where he is, looking like me at the end of Anderson Silva round 3, right? That is not the case for a 10-8 round. That would be a 10-7. I don't think we've ever seen a 10-7, but for a 10-8 round, kind of like Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler recently. As we know, Oliveira went out, started well, took him down, took his back, had some big moments. But on the flip side, Chandler was able to drop him. He was able to, you know, beat him up pretty good with some ground and pound and almost finished him. I'm sure the referee was looking very closely. Now, even though Oliveira had success at the start of the round, and you could say that the duration was almost even, Chandler almost finished him. So therefore, that was a 10-8 round. At the weekend, Dustin, Poirier, Conor, McGregor, that's the big one. Conor started very well. He landed some good shots. He landed some good kicks and no doubt a couple of punches. But then Dustin landed some big shots. Dustin got the takedown. Dustin defended the guillotine and then went on to land a lot of blows. Now, that doesn't mean that Conor couldn't have turned the fight around and won in the second round, or the third, the fourth, the fifth, whatever. But what it does mean, according to the official scoring criteria provided by the Athletic Commission, is that that was a 10-8 round. So anyway, there you go. A little bit of clarification for you. And next time you see myself, DC, Cruz, any one of us commentating, and we say a 10-8 round, and you send me a message in my inbox, well, guess what, buddy? You're wrong.